The most dangerous thing in life does not always come from strangers. Sometimes, the very thing that destroys your peace is someone you once welcomed in with genuine kindness. They do not come holding a knife. They do not start a war from the beginning. They do not appear as a threat. They simply walk in, sit down, say a few things, leave behind a few habits, a few energies, a few invisible cracks, and little by little, turn the place that should have been your safest refuge into a battlefield of the mind. In this video, you will clearly see 5 kinds of people who should never be allowed too deep into your living space. Not only to avoid disturbance, but to protect something far more valuable: clarity, dignity, and inner peace. And most importantly, you will understand why the Stoic does not merely choose their words carefully, but also chooses very carefully who is allowed to step into their private world. Pay special attention to the third type, because if you recognize them too late, you may not only lose your energy, you may even lose control over your own life. Everyone has gone through that feeling at some point. You invite someone into your home with goodwill, and after a few meetings, the atmosphere of the house starts feeling heavy. There may be no big argument, no obvious incident, but after they leave, your mind feels more exhausted, your heart feels lower, and the house no longer feels like a place of rest. Many people think they are simply being too sensitive. But no, very often, your intuition is seeing something that your logic has not yet found words for. There are some people who carry chaos with them. A strong person is not someone who opens the door to everyone just to prove that they are generous. A strong person is someone who knows limits, knows how to choose, knows who may enter and who must stop at the threshold. Stoicism does not teach you to be cold. Stoicism teaches you to be clear-minded. Because kindness without boundaries will soon become an open door for disturbance, manipulation, and exhaustion to walk in. 1. The one who speaks ill of others will soon pollute the whole atmosphere of your home. The first kind of person you should not invite deeply into your home is the one who loves gossip, criticism, intrusive talk, and judging other people as a habit. At first, this type often does not seem alarming. They may even feel fun, full of stories, never boring to sit with. But if you observe carefully, you will notice that all their conversations carry the same tone, pulling others down, dissecting people's private lives, turning other people's mistakes into entertainment. What is the problem? The problem is that gossip is not just words. It is a very dirty kind of mental energy. It makes the room heavier. It bends the mind out of shape. It turns connection into caution. Seneca once warned that human beings gradually become like whatever they expose themselves to repeatedly. That is why the gossiping person is extremely dangerous. They do not just tell stories. They bring into your house a distorted state of mind, liking judgment, liking assumptions, liking the act of lowering others in order to feel superior. Today they speak badly about the neighbor. Tomorrow they speak badly about your friends. And one day, when you turn your back, the one being torn apart in the conversation will be you. A very ordinary example. Someone comes to your house, and within 10 minutes begins with, "That woman may look decent, but the way she lives is pathetic," and from there drags one person after another onto the table for dissection. At first you listen casually. But after a few visits, you feel something very unpleasant appearing in your house: uneasiness. Because the place that once gave you rest has now become a container for the poisonous air of judgment. The deeper principle here is, a person with self-respect does not use other people's lives as entertainment. And a person who knows how to preserve dignity will not allow their home to become a shelter for destructive speech. 2. Whoever treats your boundaries lightly is also treating your value lightly. The second kind of person is the one who is rude, disrespectful, accustomed to crossing lines, and behaves as though your feelings are not worth taking into account. This type is dangerous in a very quiet way. They do not always begin with open rudeness. Sometimes it is only a few interruptions, a few sarcastic remarks, a few entitled actions, a few moments of ignoring your rules at home. But the problem is this: boundaries do not collapse in one single moment. They are worn down little by little. A person who enters your house and does not respect your rhythm, your rules, your space, and your feelings, is not coming as a guest. They are coming as an invading force. Epictetus taught that one must be very clear about what one accepts and what one refuses. Because every time you tolerate unnecessary disrespect, you are unintentionally training other people how to treat you. A very real example. They come into your house, open things without asking, make comments freely, interrupt you while you are talking, criticize the way you live, sneer at your choices, and even turn your discomfort into a joke. Why are you getting so worked up? No, there is something there. There is a great deal there. Because the issue was never the one small sentence. The issue is the attitude behind that sentence. I do not take your limits seriously. And once your limits are treated carelessly, your peace will sooner or later be trampled as well. The deeper principle. Boundaries are not difficulty. Boundaries are the shape of self-respect. Anyone who does not respect your boundaries should not be allowed close to your life. 3. Do not bring other people's storms into your house and call it kindness. This is the most dangerous type of all, the person who is always carrying trouble, drama, conflict, chaos, and expects others to bear it with them. This is also the type that traps many people the most, because they usually enter through sympathy. You see that they are suffering. You see that they are going through something. You think you should help. And after some time, you realize you are no longer helping, you are living inside their chaos. This kind of person always has a problem. Always has drama. Always has someone who has wronged them. Someone who owes them. Someone who hurt them. Someone who is guilty toward them. And life is always unfair to them. Wherever they go, dark clouds go with them. And the most dangerous part is that they can make you feel responsible for saving them. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we do not control other people's chaos. We only control how much of it we allow into our lives. That is the key point. You can feel compassion without drowning along with them. You can be kind without becoming an endless container for another person's crisis. Example. There is someone who, every time they visit, brings complaints, bitterness, tension, and conflict. They sit for 1 hour. But their after effect stays in your mind the whole day. After a few months, you notice that you begin feeling tired even at the sight of their name appearing on your phone. That is not heartlessness. That is your nervous system crying out for help. The deeper principle. Not everyone who is suffering is someone you should pull close. There are people who do not want healing. They only want more people to sink with them. Self-control means knowing when to stop your compassion before it turns into self-destruction. 4. A person who does not value your peace does not deserve your presence. The fourth kind of person is the one whose very presence always turns into pressure. Not necessarily loud, not necessarily causing some major scene, but whenever they are around, you always feel you have to stay on guard. They may be the kind who likes to make little digs, likes to create insecurity, likes making others explain themselves, defend themselves, question themselves. The danger of this type is that they do not destroy your physical house. They destroy your sense of safety inside your own mind. And once a home loses its sense of safety, no matter how beautiful it is, it no longer remains a place of rest. The Stoic understands one thing very clearly: peace is not something that simply appears by itself. It is the result of disciplined choice. The choice of what is allowed into your ears. The choice of who is allowed into your home. The choice of who is allowed into your inner life. Example. There is someone who visits and always brings up sensitive subjects, deliberately touches the things you do not want to discuss, repeats provocative lines as if testing when you will finally explode. They are not seeking connection. They are seeking reaction. And when you react, they turn around and say that you are too sensitive. No. You are not too sensitive. You are simply standing near a person addicted to disturbing other people. The deeper principle. Presence is power. Withdrawing your presence from a place that does not respect your peace is not weakness. It is strength. 5. Not everyone deserves a seat in your private world. This is both the conclusion and the strongest principle. A home is not merely walls, doors, and furniture. A home is an extension of your mind. It is where your energy takes shelter. It is where you recover after being struck by the outside world. And for that reason, who is allowed to step into it is a decision of moral responsibility toward yourself. Many people live in exhaustion not because they work too much, but because they open the door too widely. They allow too many people in. They hear too many things that are not worth hearing. They endure too many things that are not worth enduring. And they call that looseness, being emotional, or being loving. No. That is not love. That is a lack of discipline in protecting your inner life. Stoicism does not tell you to hate people. Stoicism teaches you to distinguish clearly who brings clarity, who brings confusion, who deepens you, who makes you shallow, who makes your home warmer, who makes it heavier. Some people enter a house and leave peace behind. Some people enter a house and leave poison in the air. Wisdom lies in seeing the difference before the price becomes too high. The final principle is: peace is not weakness. Restraint is power. Whoever controls what enters their inner world controls the direction of their life. Remember this. You do not need to open the door to everyone in order to prove that you are good. You only need to be aware enough to protect the peace you worked very hard to build. Out of these 5 types, which one have you encountered the most in your life? Comment 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 so I know. And if you like this kind of Stoic content, sharp, deep, and the sort that wakes you up after hearing it, then like and subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together for a long time.